luckily we're about to start as the race gets underway. The lights are about to go out. We're about to see a race. The delay still happens despite it being an online championship, and we're away for the Russian Grand Prix F3, and it looks like a bad start there by Matthew Elliott. He's getting swamped.
Absolutely swamped.
Heading into first turn.
Already.
Oh, this is going to be where it gets dicey into turn one.
Yes,
Everyone's gone through. There's contact. Matthew Elliott's been caught in it. Our championship points leader's been put around. I didn't see quite who it was that turned him around. He'll be fuming about that. But
he will be. Ryan's pushed wide at turn 4.
Sterling West lead from Yevgeny Delacruz. Tyler Beasley in third. Robin Kreft up to P4, getting under attack by Ryan Connolly.
By Luca, who's just taken P4 off him.
And then Ryan Connolly, Rudy, Ashley Lawrence, Matthew Elliott down in P8, and then the other victim on that first lap incident, the first corner incident, was Klaus, who was kind of stuck when Matt spun around. So very hard luck there for our championship points leader. But he'll strike back and
out of all this, Sterling's got a 1.4 second gap already. We're not even out of the first lap yet, so that's a very good opening lap there for Sterling.
Oh, Beasley with a huge tank slapper coming through the middle of the off-camber S's, and but managed to hold it through. Lucas had a really good start from near back of the field to be challenging for position 3 at the moment. Robbins also had a pretty good start, but I'd be very curious to see what's happened in that first corner, because it's just caught Elliott completely off.
So no one's got any damage out of that, which is interesting, since we had one car retire from it.
Oh yeah, Nicholas Adams, I didn't even notice. When did he must have retired through
that crash at turn 2, from what I understand.
Just having a
look
look
at the top 3 are just starting to spread apart a bit. Luke is still right on the back of Bullet, Tyler. Dropping a little bit. But he's still there.
Yeah, you're just having a look back at the footage.
As Brett plays back my voice.
Well, actually, I might take this time. Oh no, it's probably pointless now because I won't be able to actually see the actual incident. But yeah,
Rudy's right on the back of Ryan Connolly here. Another lap he'd get DRS.
So I thought, oh, here we go. We've got a battle here between Matthew Elliott and Ashley Lawrence. So despite everything, it looks like Matt's gonna. Although I think Ashley's made a bit of a mistake himself, but oh, here we go. Ashley's made a. Got on the gas. He got on the brakes quite a bit early. To
Sterling another 54. Oh,
Beasley. Ryan's in. So right, Ryan's early for the pit stop runners.
Okay.
I thought there would have been damage from Elliott's car. There was a bit of front wing off to the side of the circuit where Matt was, so I thought he would have a bit of.
Ryan's putting new nose on.
So here we go. Here comes Matthew Elliott down the inside of Ashley Lawrence, heading into turn 1. Ashley gives him plenty of space. They're going to still go side by side heading into turn 2. Ashley wasn't quite convinced that the move was done and is fighting the issue. Is he going to try and fight it back through? Yep, he's going to go down the inside into 3. Matt cuts him off a little bit actually, but
Jesus, very risky there, Matt.
I would say he's pretty upset right now. So
he would be, yeah. As Yevgeny has dropped a position.
Looks like Tyler's on a rapid charge at the moment, but he's lost 3 seconds to Sterling, so that's going to be a bit of a...
I have a sneaky suspicion Yevgeny's gone wide somewhere, because he was only 2 seconds behind Sterling, and now they're 3.5.
Yeah, it would be... I mean, unless Sterling's upped his pace again and trying to make a gap, I would say, yeah, you're probably right that Yevgeny has made a mistake into one of the corners.
Sterling done 54.5. Tyler can't better that. So this is...
Be very curious to see how Luke is still within a fighting shot of the positions at this point. Ashley Lawrence is now in from P8.
Yeah, they need a new nose as well. Or can he jump Ryan? No, he's getting a new front wing as well. So there must have been a little damage.
Oh, I can't imagine there would not have been. I mean, it was a pretty dicey situation from the looks of it. So it's pretty much clear that one of these cars probably were the culprit that got into the back of Matthew Elliott. There's probably no denying that. But until we see footage from anyone's perspective, that might suggest what happened. I know from the looks of it that Matt was pushed basically into the fence by someone, but it was very hard to see. It was very hard to see who did it, so we won't point fingers until we've got conclusive evidence. Now, on battle track at the moment, Rudy now on the back of Robin.
Pretty close to each other. Yep.
Ooh, Robin very tank slappy through the off-camber circuit, and that's the part of the circuit that catches a lot of drivers out, just because of the sheer off-camber nature of the turn, because it's a braking point that starts on a downhill slope, but then goes uphill as you enter the corner. So the Sochi Autodrome was built quite weirdly in a way. Of course, it is the precinct of the Winter Olympic complex, so they probably didn't have a hell of a lot to work with when they did do it back in 2013. Well, initial movement of it in 2013. Just got some footage here actually. Just watching back on it. It's a replay from Nickel, just watching to see who it is and where it's gone. Ooh, okay. So it actually looks like the person that might have hit Matthew out into a spin was actually Nicholas Adams, and Nicholas is DNF'd as a result of hitting the back of Thing's car at quite a hefty amount of speed. But the footage actually shows Nicholas getting a huge hit up the rear by someone, which then fires him straight into the back of Alia's car.
Oh. Sorry to interrupt you, Brett, but we've got a move happening for...
Yeah, I was just seeing that. Robin getting super aggressive on his defence. He's actually made a mistake. Looks like he might have grabbed the inside wall, which has given Rudy the position. So, yeah, so unfortunately Matt's just been caught up, from the looks of it, Matt's just been caught up in someone else's accident. So, it's unfortunate for Matt, who's currently in P7. He's going to definitely come out of this weekend unless something happens to Sterling and Yevgeny. He's definitely going to be coming out of this no longer the championship points leader, but given the circumstances that he's been leading the championship from pretty much Bahrain to now, which is, well, it's actually 16 races, that's an incredible feat. And given the circumstances that the drivers coming into the championship are on a different level, it's still he can still hold his head up high and take away the fact that he's been the guy that everyone's been chasing for the last 16 races. And it'll take the pressure away too.
Ryan's right on the back of Klaus.
Yes,
so can we... Rudy gets 3-second penalties.
Ryan does know that we have 8 gears in our cars, right? I just noticed he was just high revving down the main straight in 7th gear, so not sure why you would do that to your engine, but looks like Klaus has made a mistake. Ryan nearly into the back of him out of the surprise and gets the job done.
So Luke is right on the back of Yevgeny as well, so Yev's in the pits.
Is there going to be a penalty? No, looks like the pit lane glitched.
So this is interesting. I can hear a cat on the commentary post as well.
Yeah, I headbutted her accidentally. So Yevgeny now on the ultra
No
soft
wing
tyre.
just tyres, so that's good. Matthew jumps him.
As you would, through pit strategy, which could still all go sector 2 incident.
Clear of wrong.
Ooh,
Nice.
it was Sterling. Sterling's made a mistake. Not
That's
a very
it.
on wide into turn.
Yeah, he dropped a couple of seconds, so probably big enough.
I don't know if it was him per se that caused the yellow flag, but just caught a shot of him going, kind of cutting back into the circuit, which would have suggested he did go quite wide, but yeah, it looks like he's definitely pushing hard, which could be a bit of an issue for him if he decides that I'll push hard and then put in the fence sort of attitude, but we'll see what kind of warrants it makes. Through the off-camber section again. Actually, I just found another compounding part about that corner is that it goes uphill and then goes downhill as it comes through, so Sterling's...
So this gives you the race lead to Tyler.
And Luca's staying out as well. Now, will Sterling come out behind Matthew is the question. What's the gap between... Oh, yeah, it looks...
Will he come out behind Yevgeny?
I think he won't. I think Yevgeny doesn't... Looks like Yevgeny hasn't quite actually... made use of his tyres.
There you go, yes. Yes,
He's only, and Sterling's only going to just come out behind Matt, so that's going to be... I mean, I know Matt's going to probably get out of the way. Someone's had an off. Luca's had an off at turn... I have no idea. Oh yeah, that's turn 3. Ooh, luckily ghosting was on. That could have been...
Coming into turn 4, so that's very unfortunate for Luca. He's done all that hard work in the first 8 laps to get him legitimately P3.
I think looking from it, the Hypersoft tyres are probably not really that suited for anything more than 7 laps, so I apologise, his phone's going off behind me. Just wait for someone to pick it up. But yeah, it looks like he might have overheated his tyres. It is not that hard to get out of that complex in that bit, so he'll come under threat from...
Blaze picks up a penalty for multiple warning.
He's going to come under threat from Matthew in just a short minute or two, because I think there was wing damage on Luca's end, so that will suggest a pit stop. As he goes very loose into the off-camber part, Sterling's caught Matt quite quickly. Matt goes offline a bit. Here comes Sterling. Is Sterling? I thought Sterling would have made a move. Oh, and Lucas just made a massive meal of the pit entry. Actually returned to the circuit. So here comes Sterling. Is Matt going to fight, or is Matt going to just... No, Matt's just letting him go straight away.
So Robin's in the pits. He was on the ultras, and he's gone to the softs.
That's a bit of a bolt. That's a bit of an odd move, in my opinion.
That's a very different strategy.
He must... I mean, I can understand it from a perspective, if you can't look after your tyres properly, then go to a set of tyres that are probably gonna get you to the end no matter what, as opposed to using your tyres and then potentially burning them and whatnot. So
as Luke is catching up to Robin, as you'd expect.
Apologies about that. Family thing. So anyway, Tyler's still out. Of course, he is on the ultra soft tyre, so that does kind of constitute him to stay out a bit longer.
Rudy's still out in P2 as well. And Matt's done a very good job to
we'll just see how that plays out.
That one incident.
In due course. Rudy's also on the ultra soft tyre, so we don't expect to see him in too far away. Although Sterling in that regard is catching him quite quickly, so Matt must be... Yeah, Matt's actually catching this field up quite a bit too, so... But Matt's electing to run a different strategy because he's staying out a lot longer on the hypers than everyone else, which isn't a bad strategy to do really, because it means that you're going to be a lot faster on the Sorry, second stop go. Ooh, Robin's had a
Robin
huge
gets-
off at the off-camber
Mm.
S's. And that's going to undo a lot of his hard work, and he's coming back into pit lane as well.
Must have got front
So-
wing damage there.
I think I've lost Mark, haven't I?
No, I'm still here.
Oh no, sorry, my headset must have been turned down so I couldn't hear you.
Now this is a weird glitch here that I'm seeing. Our 3 people that have yet to pit have only done 9 laps on their tyres, but we're on lap 10. So somewhere they've got a free lap.
Yeah, that is very interesting actually. So, the online championship, which in our bid was to try and stop as much glitching happening, is causing a few little glitches at the same time, but nothing too out of the ordinary. Matthew earlier, yeah,
Robin comes back out on a set of softs.
so he's sticking to his guns, even though
Sterling's got a 3-second penalty.
which could come back to bite him in the ass. Maybe he has gotten around Rudy as well, so maybe there was an overtake there that's gone. As
Because
Rudy
Rudy
gets,
just gets himself one.
and Matthew's now in from position 4, so took it very gingerly into the pit entry, so he's obviously not wanting to speed in pit lane.
Taking those tyres very deep. 10 laps on the set of Vipers. Goes on to the Ultras.
Bit of a
I'll
hole
stay and
there.
stop there from the Toro Rosso boys.
He should come out. Ooh, this could be
Be
interesting.
tight between him and Luca.
Oh, sector 3 incident.
He's
Oh,
very
Ashley Lawrence has had an off just before the corner, and it looks like Luke is only just going to get out ahead of Matt. So the
Yeah,
undercut.
Matt's got 2 lap fresher tyres, so as the Ashley back in the pit.
He's on the softs as well, so that's a bit interesting to see there, but I
Yeah, so
suppose
Wingy's going on to the Ultras. Front wing's getting put on, car's dropped, and he's out of pits. So we've seen a few front wings this race.
yeah, so Robin Kreft has dropped a lap down. So his good race start has kind of fallen away from him. Tyler Beasley still holding on to a 19-second lead, which is going to probably drop when he pits. But he'll be on the high
What is
pits.
the pit delta around here, Brett? Does anyone know? It'd be about a 26-ish, 25?
I'm guessing about a 25er sort of pertain. I didn't really pay much attention from the gap between Matt and
No, I
Luca.
haven't- I
So
haven't paid any attention.
So I think either which way you look at it, you've got Sterling on a set of ultras, and then you'll have Tyler on a set of hypers at the end. So even if Tyler loses time now, he'll make it all back up more than
Later
likely.
in the race.
But you want to be careful about it as he locks up into the tight bend before the off-camber S's as he's approached now Klaus, so Klaus will need to get out of the way, which he does.
He does. Very good move there, Klaus.
And a very interesting spot too. It's not very easy to get out of the way when you're in a corner, so he's managed to do that with not too much problem, as now Tyler gets a
Tyler
free.
gets a 3-second penalty. So that puts the 2 leaders back on par for penalties.
What's the gap
So
between
it's
Matt
all
and...
on track battle now.
So Matt and
As,
Luca...
Robin's caught Klaus very quickly here. Every time you go excuse me, ladies and gentlemen.
wasn't the greatest night's sleep last night, but
As Robin comfortably gets around Klaus, I don't think Klaus has a good setup for around here. He's usually got a bit more pace than this.
yeah, he has missed the last few races, so it could be on account of maybe not playing the game, not being up to scratch, sort of thing. Rudy's
I'm
done
gonna
it.
be like that tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, so they don't worry about it.
nonsense. We'll do a bit of practice over the night.
Yeah.
Rudy's done a pretty good job at the moment to sit currently P3, although he is still due to stop as well as
catching very quickly now.
And Ryan Connolly holding down P7 still.
And
Bit of a
Matthew
lone.
and Lucas starting to get a bit close together on the track here. It's only 1.1 seconds, so anything could happen here. If Gane and Rudy are 1.7 seconds apart, so there are a few battles coming.
And Matt's just now into DRS range, so...
Into DRS. Oh, he's gone a bit wide there into 4, 5.
I'd say...
So this...
You could tell the difference between what Matt was at the start of the race and now where he is. You can definitely tell he's kind of taken a deep breath, said, okay, bad start, let's just get on with it. Get on with it.
Yeah.
But his driving style's definitely become a lot smoother. He's a lot less aggressive on anything, but he's staying within. Although he doesn't look like he has DRS on Lucas, so he must not have been with it.
He was just outside of DRS range at the detection point there. So hopefully he stays within the second. He's just dropped out of it currently.
Can't see where the activation line is. I think it's just around this corner, if anything.
Yeah,
No.
it's about there, isn't it? Oh no, it's just over there.
Just,
isn't it? Isn't that it?
So as he comes... Yep, there we go.
As he opens DRS.
Will he have the pace to make a
Still
mano?
a bit far back to do anything.
Well, I've always talked about it in regards to, like, I mean, in the actual F1 it's a bit different because of the cars' pace versus what we see online with equal cars, but I've always said that if you're not within, at least if you're not within, or as Matt gets a time penalty, if you're not within roughly about half a second of the car behind with DRS, you're not gonna be in a real position to mount an overtake. So it kind of begs the question of why does it need to be under a second for DRS? Why not make it just a bit trickier for certain drivers and make it half a second so that you're actually got a shot of using DRS to full advantage? I mean, this year is going to be a bit different, I think, with the new front wing regulation changes so that it promotes overtaking, so that we'll see a lot more slipstream overtakes as opposed to DRS and pit stops.
Yeah, that's overtake, yeah.
And that's now just starting.
Which is what the sport's needed for a lot of years now. They need to make the cars more stable following, so they can actually follow and build a bit of pressure from behind and get that overtake done.
Well, exactly. I think it would go as far back as probably 2007 to about 2009 would be the last time you saw F1 cars really battling through without worrying about dirty air.
Yep.
And of course back then also you didn't have cars that were significantly faster than the rest of the field, so there's also that.
Well, the Ferraris were, weren't they?
I think Ferrari and McLaren always had that tactical edge over the rest of the field, but there were still other cars capable of winning races, not just 2 or 3, as Tyler Beasley now comes in from position 1, a 14-second gap, so he's lost.
Caught Ashley here too.
Yeah, and the difference in the tyre wear is quite astounding too. 13 laps on Klaus's end versus 3 on Ashley's, but look at, I mean...
Oh yes, Gane's got around Rudy. So, ladies and gentlemen, I was trying to keep an eye on that battle, but I just...
Well, that battle's just ended now because they've, Klaus is through, and unfortunately Tyler's actually going to be stuck.
Very wide.
Oh, these two are going to have a battle again, and Tyler's now stuck behind them.
Tyler's going stuck behind them. He's not going to help his race.
Oh, let's see. So Klaus. Oh, I thought.
Oh, Klaus, get out of the way. That's the job.
That's a tricky. That is unfortunately a tricky area to try and let someone through because it's
Yeah, it is.
if you try to throw your car offline to let people through, you do throw your downforce straight out the window. So
Matthew's got Luca. Sorry, Brett. Matthew has got Luca.
oh yeah, so good move.
2 and 3.
And
Coming on the long sweep of 4.
And Tyler's
So
grabbed
that's-
Ashley as well. So the gap is 10.9 seconds that he's got to try and make on Sterling on these Hypersoft tyres, which is possible. I mean, it would have to be if you
11
were...
laps out of him though, so he's going to push him as far as anyone has today.
Yeah, I think this is... I don't know if that's the... I'm wondering if that's the optimal strategy, because it would make sense. 17 on Ultras, 10 on this Hypers, so maybe Tyler has come in a lap...
Cars, you could do it, yeah.
So Tyler's probably come in a lap earlier than...
Ruby's coming in.
Oh, yes,
So
too.
he's
So that...
done 17 on the... So he'll only do 10 laps on his Hypers. Assuming he goes to Hypers.
And that should go up to P4 as a result of this, I think.
Touch and go.
I mean, Sauber is at the
touch and
very,
go.
very end of the pit lane, so... Matt's now just...
coming straight now.
Rudy will get on the power right now.
Ruby's...
No, Matt's got him.
In the top.
Yep, Matt and Luca
Luca
have got
jumping.
them.
Oh, they got him.
Luca's
Oh,
only...
just.
Luca's very marginally...
Jesus. That could have been carnage.
But I think with the Hypersoft, Rudy should be able to clear these two quite easily. But
And
then...
they don't need to give up their position. They can argue the point. It is all for position. So I wouldn't go handing him the position. I'd make him work it.
Yeah, but at the same time though, if I was in Matt's position, I would be more inclined to finish with points than fight, potentially get punted off and maybe a DNF to his name. So
Yeah.
I say fight it as humanly
Fight
possible.
to a point, but yeah. Don't go doing anything stupid. But
Tyler destroys the fastest lap as he's chopped the gap down from 10.9 to 7.7 in the space of a lap and a half.
So, and to further this with Rudy, if they, as he's got around Luca pretty comfortably, but if they make Rudy work those tyres a bit, you know, they might come back into it with a couple of laps left as Rudy's tyres start to fall off that cliff.
Yeah, for sure.
Being
Got a
the
second one incident.
Hypersofts. So,
Oh, that's Yevgeny. Yevgeny's had a spin.
Turn
One.
Is that 3?
That's turn one. That's the technically correct turn 2 that he's had a spin.
Yeah. So
that'll bring Matt and Rudy into the game a little bit against him. And if Yevgeny's not careful, he's
still got 12 seconds to go before Matt catches him.
Oh no, I'm just saying he might have overcooked his tyres, although it's very rare for that instance to happen unless there was a helping hand. But
Rudy gets 3-second penalty. I don't know if Matt's got any penalties.
No, Matt's got one. We saw that when he was attacking Luca a few laps back. Now Tyler's also got a second one as well, and he's just mowing that time down.
I'm currently fixed on this battle here for P4. I'm keeping me eyes on this. Go defensive, Matt.
He's dropped it back in. He's just given it up.
Let him go.
I think when
Rudy move
up
to there in a bit.
I was just looking at it because and Yevgeny's in, so Yevgeny's obviously done some damage to his front wing, so that would suggest to me there might have been help. So that's going to put Rudy into P3, Matt up to P4.
There's no front wing, so it's
a strategy change. And he's being held.
He's being held. Is that a serving?
No, if it was a stop go, it would have been served before the stop was
Before
even
the-
made. He must have just missed his
Or he couldn't get the clutch to engage or something.
Well, we'll find that out, and if it turns out to be that pit glitch, then it might prove that even putting it on an online championship won't seem to make the difference.
Doesn't seem to fix that, no.
So
That's very unfortunate for him. He was in for a good result.
it does save Matt in the knowledge that he'll lead, even if he loses the championship lead now, he won't.
Jeff Ganna gets penalty.
He won't lose second in the championship. But at the moment, the rate that Tyler's hoeing in Sterling at the moment, it's only a matter of time before a battle.
Tyler's got the yellow fuel up though, so he's got to do a bit of fuel saving here.
He's probably just flying the car through to catch Sterling, get past him, and then just back off, and then
worry about it later.
Or he's gonna do it. Yeah, he's gonna do it now and then just back off if he can't do it.
This Klaus comes in the pits.
So he's been on his ultras for 17 laps, so, well, 18 laps actually, technically the term would be, because no, actually no, it would be 19 laps, sorry, because of the glitch. So no,
Didn't he pit after that one though?
Yeah, I'm lost on that whole thing now that you've brought that up.
Yeah, I thought he was one of our first to pit.
So
For that one, but anyway. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Jeff Genna's catching Ryan Connolly for P6 and 7. Matthew and Luca are stalemates. Rudy's pretty much got the track to himself in front of him.
yeah, 30 seconds off P2.
Yeah.
Oh, and Ryan. No, sorry, Yevgeny having a bit of a sneaky look up the inside at Ryan at turn 4. Oh, and he's actually...
he's put Ryan into the wall.
Yeah,
Oh, that's...
it looked like desync initially, but then it's usually 90% of the time when it looks like desync on our end, it actually is a...
It's a driver's error on there, and yeah.
So Yevgeny has obviously gotten too close and just given Ryan a push into the fence, and he's got an off in sector 2. Ooh, that was...
Rudy's binned it.
Yeah, where on earth?
Where's this happen?
Is that the same corner where Alex DeMao's binned it in F4? Yes, it is. It is. It's the same corner.
It is. Coming out of the S's.
He's gassed it too early and put it in the fence. We've got another incident in sector, and it's resync.
Who's
oh,
that?
right, Sterling's had an off. Sterling's got broken front wing. He's had an off somewhere.
No.
A possible candidate for championship points leader could very well be in a situation. Oh, actually, he's got enough of a time. He's got enough time between himself and Matthew Elliott to get a pit stop in and
Do these pit stop in.
stay in second. But yeah, that's
So all is happening here, ladies and gentlemen.
this has saved
As we talk
Matthew.
the
This has
race
saved
is
Matthew.
over.
Yeah, this has saved Matthew Elliott big time
Yeah.
from what was going to be.
So Matthew's on the podium. This is a very good recovery drive if it stays.
Well, I'm just looking at the championship picture now. The gap is 6 points heading into this weekend. Sterling won the race. It would have been Sterling leading the championship by 4 points. Right now, Matthew Elliott holds a 1 point advantage heading into Suzuka. So Sterling will come out. So I wonder what happened to Sterling. That's a very
that'd be
interesting.
very interesting to get his comments after the race.
I mean, it's been quite a controversial race for a lot of our championship contenders. So Matthew Elliott with the first lap incident with Nicholas Adams that put Nicholas out of the race and Matthew into a spin, dropping him to the back of the field. And according to Rudy, the game bugged, shut down, an error message. So it looks like Rudy must have had an error that then fired him into the fence somehow. But
as Robin gets overtaken, I think that's by Tyler. I would assume, yeah, it is by Tyler. So Robin's gone a lap down again.
so anyway, back to the point. So Matt with his problems.
What was Ryan in for?
Ryan had front wing damage from when he got hit by Yevgeny.
Ah, yes, that's right. Sorry, yes.
So Yevgeny, as we mentioned, has had an off at turn 2 somewhere, whether he was helped or he spun on his own cord, and that's put him down into P5. And then the biggest one, Sterling West, with something that's happened that's put him in the fence.
Maybe a bit of over pushing, and he's just, as he's given Blaze a bit of a touch up there. Blaze sends it back. Oh, Jesus, Blaze, don't do that.
That was interesting, but he's got a 3-second time penalty for that.
You don't want to be that bloke that take out the championship standing.
Well, yeah, you don't want to.
You don't want to open those can of worms, mate. Trust me.
No, we've had that can of worms opened up once before, and we saw that in Australia with that unnamed person. Sector 2 incident.
Sector 3 on my screen. I'm not seeing anything.
No, it must
could have just been Robin getting out of the way.
So the gap is 10 seconds between Sterling and Matt and Rising, but it looks like Sterling's just pushing hard again to try and break out of it.
Fastest lap now. He's got those fresh tyres. He can technically do it. He's got the pace. Has had all weekend.
It'll be a very interesting thing to see what he says in regards to the position, because I mean it's still a P2 result, but I'm sure he would have wanted a lot more given the circumstances.
Yeah. I don't want to say he would have had the win in the bag, but he would have gone close to holding the win. As he goes for the fastest lap, there you go, 31.8.
And for Tyler, it's also a bit of a saving grace if you think about it, because as you said, he would have had to have saved fuel, and now that he knows that he's leading the race, he would just think, okay, back it off, just conserve.
And by the gap that he's got, you could just pretty much roll around now.
Just chuck it in, run no ERS, run lean fuel, and just cruise on home to the end.
Yep. As he technically does that right now down the back straight, no ERS. So Tyler, if you're still listening.
yeah, Tyler, if you're still listening. But I mean, it just comes down to context of matter of opinion on certain things. So I think everyone today, probably aside from Tyler, will all have a bit of a tale to tell, a bit of a a story of what might have been. I think Matt will probably be happy to a degree that he knows that he's in third place despite being second to last, facing the wrong direction at turn 1, and probably will have a somewhat notionable bit of happiness knowing that he'll still be leading the championship, even if it is just by 1 point, heading into Japan, which it's not ideally one of my favourite circuits. I mean, I tasted success there last year in the in my second race for Toro Rosso, but it wasn't the greatest race for me that weekend either, because it was also the first race that we decided to run completely no assists apart from racing line, just to call out a certain fast driver that was winning through medium assists. So
there you go. So we've currently got no battles.
The closest, Yevgeny is probably the closest, as you would be with 6-lap Hypersoft versus 16-lap Ultrasoft, and the gap between Tyler and Sterling has gone down a fair bit, but
the penalty, so
that's going to save Matt from the gap between Sterling and thing is going down, but of course that's not going to be Tyler's main worry with 2 laps left to go, unless Sterling can make 15 seconds up a lap, which is hypothetically impossible, unless you corner car every corner for the next 2 laps and somehow not get a penalty for each single one. There's no way now you're going to be able to salvage that, but Yevgeny is getting really close to the back there.
Yeah, Yevgeny coming up to Luca.
And Yevgeny will kind of be wondering where his championship's gone, because he was so... I mean, other than Austria when he punted me off the circuit, when I demoed an F3 and then got punted off the road by him, he's been relatively strong from that point onwards, racking up race wins, racking up podiums, and that.
Yeah.
His form's dipped a little since Italy, so he'll be looking to try and bounce back a little bit, as he's now right on the back of Luca's car. Luca's trying to go defensive. Or you're not supposed to move over that many times.
Swerving, Luca. Don't start swerving, mate.
You've got to stay on your side of the road now. You can't move over. Oh, there's going to be... Oh, Sterling. Sorry, Yevgeny just kind of... Oh.
Oh, as Luca's gone round.
Yeah, that kind of looked like a bit of a... That was an interesting...
It looked like a tank slapper, and he couldn't catch it in time, but it's very unfortunate for the young bloke.
He kind of... Because Yevgeny kind of figured he was not going to get that corner unless he put the aggression in, so he did kind of shut the door a very, very small amount on Luca there, just to make a statement. Now, I think Matt's made a mistake, because he suddenly dropped to 21 seconds behind Sterling when he was only
6 seconds in front of Yevgeny, so
that's an interesting one. I wonder if there's a bit of foul play going on here between him and Ashley. We'll see that in just a second, because Ashley's not actually looking at all interested in giving the position up, even though he should be, because it's blue flag conditions.
We've got a little battle here for P6. Sorry, Brett. I know we're on the final lap, but Robin and Ryan are 4 tenths away, so this could be something to watch as they're coming up to the second DRS. As Ryan got the pace, he's got a hell of a lot of pressure tyres, so he should be able to do it. I don't want to miss the leader crossing the finish line. So
he's only a couple of corners up the road, but Ryan's got it, but he's going to lock up.
He's lost it again.
So either which way, we'll draw our attention back to Tyler Beasley, who started the race in P2 on the ultra soft tyre. He played his cards brilliantly to stay out and punch out laps. A mistake from Sterling's cost him big time. So Tyler Beasley around the last turn, and he will win the... Oh, he almost threw it away on the last corner deliberately, but takes victory at the Russian Grand Prix. He almost, if he was a millimetre closer to the wall, that would have been one of the most embarrassing moments.
Slap around in the third last corner. So Sterling's coming around as well. We heard do the same thing here, big fish out. No, he doesn't. He just
and loses time at the end of the race because of having more penalties than Tyler too. So 26 seconds from 24. Here comes Matthew Elliott. Now I don't know what the penalties between Matt and Yevgeny are, but I think
this could be the telling sector here, ladies and gentlemen. His final podium position.
So Matt will cross the line in P3. Here comes Yevgeny around the last turn. And
did he get jumped?
No, Matt holds on by 7 seconds, so Yevgeny must have had more penalties. Luca will bridge the corner to make P5. And while we do that, I will invite the top 3 to the podium. So
Russian Grand Prix in the F3 category, Trans Nations Formula 1. Here we have our podium standings. It's good to see the McLaren are back on top. And as our fellow F2 competitor would say, when McLaren win F3, they usually win F2.
That's
they're
actually
joined by Matthew Elliott.
that's actually a valid point.
Matthew,
So, yep, carry on, carry on. Well, I can tell you already that the person who did hit you was actually hit from behind quite hard, and he was out of the race. It was Ghost Recon who was out of the race from the incident. Drove straight into the back of you from being hit from behind. But either way, you can at least take knowledge of you're still championship points leader heading into Suzuka. Yeah, 1 point. 1 point. So it's still an accolade despite the situation. So it's a great drive. It doesn't look like we're going to get Sterling or Tyler back. So Mark, you want to wrap it up with anything? Yeah, well, thanks for that, Mark, and thanks for everyone for watching part 2 of the F3 Transnation Formula 1 World Championship Grand Prix here at Russia. We will see you again next weekend for F3 at the Japanese Grand Prix, where Matt will try and defend his championship again against Sterling and Yevgeny. Also, don't forget to tune in tomorrow for F1 and F2, the main game situation, with me and Matt taking commentary for F1, and then Mackenzie Stewart and whoever he can find for F2. So we will wrap things up here from China, Russia, and we'll see you again in